Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Former Deputy Foreign Affairs Minister Emmanuel Bombande is wading into the whole Israel's war on Hamas, urging the Republic of Ghana to vote in favor of two key United Nations resolutions that will be seeking to create a humanitarian corridor and also exploring a possible ceasefire to Israel's war on Hamas. Now, the Ghanaian diplomat is unhappy about the country's passive posture on the latest tension in the Middle East, adding that the country's leadership role and influential position at the United Nations Security Council must be brought to bear in order to promote peace in the region. As the death toll in the Israeli-Hamas war soars and calls increase for a ceasefire and the need for humanitarian support, Joy News has been engaging envoys of the two warring factions here in Ghana. First off, we start with the ambassador of Palestine to Ghana, who has been speaking to us, indicating to us that the Palestinian authorities are open for peace talks. Here's what Ambassador Abdel Fattah Ahmed Khalil al-Satari told me on the polls.
Some people like to say that Hamas attacked Israel on that day. Because of that, Israel attacked Palestine. The conflict did not start on the 7th of October. The conflict started when Israel started to occupy my people and my country and our lands. From 1967 to now, hundreds of thousands from my people killed by the Israelis. And this is not the first war, as your friend said, against Gaza. You know, in 2014, Israel killed more than 2,650 from my people. And 5 of them was children. I cannot understand. Those children attacked Israel with the rockets. The children entered the border and attacked the Israeli soldiers and the settlers inside Israel. In that war, 2012, the Israelis killed more than 700 from my people. And Israel attacked Gaza. Not Gaza attacked Israel. In the war 2012, the Israelis killed more than 700 from my people. In the war 2014, they killed more than 2,000 people. And they destroyed more than 100,000 houses to the people. So this conflict did not start in the 7th of October. And we should talk only if we want to understand what's happened in Palestine. The conflict is not between Hamas and between Israel. Maybe some people like to say it like this, but the conflict between all the Palestinian people, all the Palestinian people in the West Bank, in Gaza, the people who's lived, Israel transferred them from their housing from 1948 and 1967, and they cannot back to their housing. Israel think in that time that my people, the older will forget Palestine as their state, and the older, will die, and the young boys will forget their country. This did not happen at all and will not happen, because the father teaches their children everything, the history about Palestine and the geography about Palestine and everything about this conflict. And believe me, now our children know information about this conflict more than us. About the General Secretary, he talked because he know exactly what's happening in Palestine. He know exactly what's happening in Palestine. And he tried to say the truth yesterday. And he said the Palestinian people did not do, in the 7th of October, did not do something against the Israelis. This did not come like this.
Well, that's the position of the Palestinian mission here in Ghana. Al-Satari speaking to me there on the pulse. But moments after, the Israeli ambassador to Ghana, Shlomit Sufa, also speaking to Evan Spencer on PM Express, says there is currently no room for peace talks until Israel has dealt with the threats to its people, suggesting Iran has a hand in the activities happening on the Gaza Strip.
I didn't hear anyone talking about, with the Palestinian representative, over 220 hostages taken to the Gaza Strip, including a 6-month-old baby. What kind of monster will snatch babies from their beds and hold them? We don't know where. There's no telling of their well-being. They have no connection to their families. There's no connection to the Red Cross. We need to see the international community focusing on, you're talking about humanitarian issues. We want to see how the rights of the Israelis being held, and not just Israelis, by the way, also a couple of dozens of foreigners, held. We've seen pictures of these children held in cages.
That may be the case, and
it's horrendous and condemnable. This is not the time to talk about peace.
It's not the time to talk about peace.
It is not a time to talk about peace, because
Why
if you
is that?
stop now Israel, if you stop us and do not enable Israel to destroy Hamas capabilities, the only thing that you'll be doing is to zero the timer for the next escalation. There is no peace, there's no reconciliation, there's no settlement with this entity that is about destroying a state. It's not about the Palestinian
You said that
rights.
this is not a time to talk about peace. The first attempt to get a UN resolution was to have a humanitarian pause. Ghana abstained in that vote. Give me your reaction to that.
We believe that Ghana is reviewing very carefully. I'm not here to talk on behalf of Ghana, but I understand that Ghana is reviewing very carefully each and every draft resolution, and they're making very careful decisions about that will demonstrate best the interests of Ghana. And again, I'm the representative of Israel, so it.
And that was the Israeli ambassador speaking on PM Express. There's a lot of development on this as we're learning of some petitions, which we'll talk about. But first, let's talk about international relations and conflict resolution expert Emmanuel Bombande, who says that Ghana must not be seen as taking sides with Israel while looking on as the lives of some Palestinians are being taken. He's then urging government to condemn the continuous attack on Gaza. The former Deputy Foreign Affairs Minister has been speaking to us as well here on the Pulse.
First of all, the foreign ministry must come again. You cannot talk about the right of Israel to defend itself and be silent on the human rights of the Palestinians who are suffocating, besieged, and occupied, and expect that your statement would have value. Because that statement is spineless and it does not represent the overall people of Ghana. Why do I say that? Because Ghana is the black star that was the trailblazer against the oppression of Africans. Africans, more than anybody else, understands what it means to fight for freedom. 400 years of slavery, more than 200 years of colonization that continues with neo-colonization, and the fight for liberation and independence. So we are in solidarity with anybody in this world who is under oppression. But that solidarity is meaningful when we support justice and fairness for all. Secondly, we do not stand with Israel, and for that matter, we are against Palestine. We stand with the Palestinians in solidarity for their freedom, for their justice. And the only way we can now meaningfully support Israel is in our preventive diplomacy to convey to Israel that their security is linked and interconnected with the security and the respect of the human rights of the Palestinians.
Well, the protest is unfolding here in Ghana as well as on this story. The coalition of Muslim organizations in Ghana are today petitioning the United Nations Secretariat in Accra, condemning the attacks on Palestinian civilians and also taking on President Akufo-Addo for what they say is the violation of Ghana's traditional foreign policy of non-alliance. Here are excerpts of what transpired earlier today.
On behalf of our stakeholder organizations and institutions, would like to present to you a petition addressed to, I'm not sure whether that is the right designation, His Excellency, the Secretary General of United Nations, through your office. Basically, our concern is all about fairness, that the good people of Palestine have never had for years. But before then, we would like to congratulate your Secretary General for being bold to say as it should. He has told the world, and within hours, there has been a threat for him to resign. We, of good people of Ghana, we are behind him. He has said what is on the heart of all soft-hearted human beings who believe in humanity and equality in this world. For us, in our statement, we are urging the United Nations to take serious action against Israel. Israel has violated many resolutions and protocols, etc., that was agreed at the General Assembly and even at the Security Council. For us, we think that Israel ought to be sanctioned. Instead of Israel having the courage to rather say that the Secretary General tender his resignation, we think that the world should listen to the Secretary General and ensure that the Israelis or Israel should be sanctioned seriously. So that's our humble appeal. It is our hope that it will get to the Secretary General that there are people around the world who listen to him. There are people around the world who believe in what he believes in. And it is our hope that serious action will be taken against Israel. We cannot say this without re-echoing our position that our foreign policy does not reflect what it's perceived to be the position of Ghana. The Ghanaian policy, foreign policy, does not or is not always on the side of the oppressor. We believe that Ghana should have taken serious position and support the proposal by Russia against Israel. And for Ghana to have abstained, we think it is not the right way to go. And it does not reflect the position of good people of the Republic of Ghana.
Say that I note your statement and I receive for onward transmission to the Secretary General of the United Nations the petition and statement that you have handed to me just now. Let me clarify first that my role as representative of the Secretary General in Ghana is to lead the UN development system here in Ghana to coordinate its work towards supporting Ghana to achieve its development aspirations. And of course, the UN's position on this subject which you have brought is both public and can be accessed on the UN website. Your message regarding Ghana, I think, is more appropriately addressed to the government of Ghana through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. Let me conclude by confirming that I commit to ensuring that I will convey your petition to the Secretary General today. Thank you for coming and thank you for your statement.
Well, except for what transpired earlier today when the coalition of Muslim organizations petitioned the UN Secretariat here in Accra. So exactly what are the demands and why is this protest being staged here in Ghana? Joining us now is Haj Abdul Manan Abdul Rahman, who's president of the coalition of Muslim organizations here in Ghana. Haj, thank you for spending some time with us. Very controversial statements you're making there, indicating that Ghana should not be on the side of the oppressor. Who's the oppressor in this case?
Thank you very much for having me. Of course, you are talking about Israel. Israel is oppressing people who have no arms, who have no control over their own land, and we think that Israel should be sanctioned by the world. Unfortunately, the world is not being fair, but we still believe that the current development is showing the way that it's telling the world that inshallah, the world will listen to the fair-minded voices across the world.
And when you make that statement, you're taking on for double standards. You're calling on Ghana to show some level of positive neutrality, and yet you're calling one side the oppressor. It's not fair to say that, is it?
Well, we are not calling for any neutrality in this case. No, that's not the case. Ghana has fought.
Foreign policy is always called for, right?
Ghana-
Non-alignment, ensuring that you're positively neutral in all.
We were on the side of ANC in the case of South Africa. We were also on the side, quote unquote, on the side of Ukraine. If we should use Ukraine example, for instance, that was the reason given by our government. And if in the case of Israel, that knowing very well that Israel has violated Resolution 242, 1966, that called for 2 states, and that called for peace, and knowing very well that kids, the women are being killed, people are being denied of their rights, and you are saying that you're abstaining from this. Out of the 3 countries, out of the 3, 2 voted for that resolution. And for Ghana to have abstained, we thought that was...
I mean, what would have been the difference anyway, knowing the position of Ghana? Non-permanent seat, you have the permanent members of the UN Security Council. A vote would definitely mean absolutely nothing if one of the permanent 5 countries sitting on the UN Security Council simply vetoes whatever decision is taken. So it's not as though we hold wield the ultimate influence in trying to bring peace in the Middle East. Why then are you still mounting pressure on government?
Well, we think that diplomatically it has a lot to do with influence. For us to have 4 rep on the Security Council as Africans, and 2 voted for the resolution, and for Ghana of all country, Kwame Nkrumah Ghana, to be abstained, we think that was not. But you see, there is one thing that people don't know as Ghanaians. Do you know that out of, is it 8 million Israelis, we have 2% Christians and we have 17% Muslims. In fact, in numerical terms, you are talking about just 171% Christians, and you are talking about over 1.5 million people who are Muslims. We're not talking about the public or the numbers in terms of citizens of Israel. We're talking about the regime. If we go back to 1967 resolution, the world is calling for Israel to revisit that resolution, which was signed by Yasser. The gentleman who was murdered, the Israeli prime minister who was murdered, he was killed just because of that. He took that position that, look, we need peace in this world. We need peace to live with our colleagues, our brothers, Palestinians. Let's go for two state accord. And that accord was signed. He returned back to his hometown only to be murdered. What we are saying is that until we go back to such a resolution, which has been violated by Israel. In fact, we are not only calling for Ghana to, what do you call it? We are also calling for Ghana to reconsider their diplomatic relationship with Israel.
Really?
Yes, of course.
That's far-fetched, of course, when you make that pronouncement.
There are many countries that have reconsidered their diplomatic relationship with Israel.
Yeah, but I mean,
why should you be killing innocent children, women, and then, as I'm talking to you now, no light, no water, no food. They are not allowing food and water to be given to the ordinary people of Palestine. They've barricaded them, no light, nothing. I mean, what is that? And then it is up to us as good people of this world to mount pressure on Israel. And we think that for Ghanaians to do this, other countries have done it, other countries have gone on the street. For us, tomorrow is supposed to be the day we're supposed to have our procession. We had a fruitful discussion with the police command. And we were okay with it due to the kind of conversation that went between us. And we are humans. Of course, we understood that from today up to Sunday, there's so much overstress in terms of numbers because of the funeral that is going on.
Okay, so that's why you've
exactly.
decided to stand down the protest.
Exactly,
I get it. But
exactly.
then you're deciding to take this petition, and just as we've seen, you've presented that to the United Nations Security, the Secretariat actually, here in Accra. The resident coordinator, Charles Abani, has just indicated his position, adding that he will forward, first of all, the petition But the aspect about the Republic of Ghana and what you are asking, he says, cannot be granted unless you direct that towards the president. What are your considerations on that?
Well, the stakeholder of the organization that I represent, we're going to look at it. We have already presented our previous press release to the various agencies, and we think that appropriately we will address one also to the Foreign Affairs. And I think that they have to come back again. That's not Ghanaian.
Why are you doing this as a religious grouping? That question has come up as to why it's only a coalition of Muslim groups that are going ahead and filing this petition. You seem to be stoking some sort of religious tension as the criticism has been.
Well, it will surprise you to know that the procession was not only initiated by the coalition of Muslim organizations. We have Socialist Forum, we have Pan-African Movement, and a whole lot of other organizations that are
religious,
of course,
yes,
but
precisely.
they are not religious organizations.
Yes.
If you're talking about COMOG, yes, I understand.
Yeah, okay.
But we are also, because we are peace-loving people, wherever there is peace, we are always happy because we want peace to be on this earth. And so it is up to us. It is our responsibility as Muslims. In fact, to your information, as a Muslims, we are enjoined by our religion to promote peace. And wherever we are, whatever we are doing, we ensure that there is peace. Example is what we mentioned to you about the security services. We didn't insist that we ought to go because we have our constitutional right to go on the streets. We listened to them. And so we are saying that there must be peace in this world. If a resolution has been there since 1967, before I was born, why set aside that resolution and be going to do whatever you're doing? And on top of that, you have America, you have EU, you're talking about Israel alliance, having the audacity to say that, look, Israel, we support you. Meanwhile, knowing very well that Israel has all that it takes, including atomic bomb, and they are killing innocent Palestinians. Where is the fairness?
Are you not one-sided when you give
We are
that
not.
account?
We are not.
And I'm just saying that because the Israeli ambassador to Ghana has been on this platform explaining that the target is Hamas. How many
Hamas have they killed? How many Hamas have they killed? They are killing human beings. They are bombarding hospitals.
But they seem to have a genuine threat.
They have no genuine threat. They are killing. They are killing innocent souls. And they are telling us they are killing Hamas. They should go and target Hamas. You are killing people. You are going to bombard hospitals.
Are you on the same page with the Israeli?
Are you not aware? Are you not aware that they bombarded hospitals? No, I just want you to get this clear.
And are you on the same page with the Israeli authorities when they say that Hamas is a threat? Do you agree?
If Hamas is a threat, Israel as a state, Israel as a regime is a threat. You know why? Because they have violated.
Are you endorsing crime? That's the question.
We are not endorsing crime. We are not endorsing crime. If they hadn't violated the what do you call it, the resolution 242, 1967, all this wouldn't have happened. Just agree that there must be two states. Period. And they say no. They want to distinct a whole society, which the land belongs. What is all this? Okay. And we think that is unfair.
The point about October 7th activity, where you had a group of people moving into Israeli territory, killing people. You've not condemned that in your statement.
For me or for us, we condemn every atrocity against innocent persons.
It's not reflecting in this document that you presented to the United Nations.
That's what we are saying. That why not violate? Why did they violate that accord in the first place?
But you're not addressing what happened, the reason for which Israel says they're going to war on Hamas.
I don't think you are pushing me to.
No, I don't think that's what
I don't think that is unfair. It is so clear.
Yes.
It's so clear that one, the cause of the happenings in Gaza, in Israel, is because of what Israel failed to do. Israel has failed to follow an accord. Israel has failed to give freedom to a certain group of persons who are supposed to be the owners of the land. Okay? And then if somebody, a group
decided to cause some harm to your public,
So be
then
it,
you assume that.
So be it, you're saying.
Of course, no, we are saying that we think that it is not right to kill any human soul, whether on the part of Israel or on the part of Palestine. But we are saying that when the Palestinians have no state, you agree with me, they have no arms, they have no police. So if a society, a group of persons among the Palestinians decided to do something that is condemnable, we ought to condemn it. And we have said it in our statement. You are not using our statement. This one is directed to the Secretary General of.
Precisely.
But our statement.
I thought that would have been reflected in this.
No, you could have read our statement.
Yes.
It was
we condemned.
Well. Yes, we condemned it. We condemned it. We said that is not right. But at the same time, the whole world should let Israel know their right position. That what they are doing, they are not bringing peace in this earth.
Okay. Why should we worry in Ghana? We're in Ghana. We're peaceful. There is cordiality between Muslims and Christians. Why should we worry?
That is why I just want you to understand that please don't let us go Muslim-Christian tangent. We have 2% Christians in Israel. We have 17% of Muslims in Israel. And in Palestine, we have 7%. 7% of Christians living in Palestine. So you can see we have quite a number, 840,000 Christians in Palestine and 171,000 in Israel. So if you're talking about numbers, Christians are rather on the side of Palestine more than Israel. So don't let us bring Christianity and Muslims here. We are talking about Zionist group that is making sure that there is no peace on earth.
We've heard from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. The call is for all feuding factions to return to the negotiating table, at least for talks to happen. The Israeli ambassador is telling us now that there is no room for peace talks because all forms of threats, external aggression against Israel has to be neutralized first before they go into the talks.
Well, that is the arrogancy we're talking about. How on earth will you criticize Secretary General of UN having condemned you? Secretary General of UN has said it all. He has condemned them. Yet, and do you know what they said? They said they are making sure that no UN staff is given visa to Israel. For God's sake, we are only telling the allies of Israel, made up of America and EU, that time has come for them to ensure that there is peace on this earth. It's as simple as that. Our fight is to ensure that there is peace. We don't want any soul to be lost. No children to be killed, for God's sake. For what?
What are your next line of activities? I mean, we know now that you're deciding to occupy all regional capitals as part of your protest. And also beyond that, you're asking for a number of considerations to be made, which the UN resident coordinator is directing you now to the government of Ghana. So what are we to expect from your group in terms of what the next line of action will be? Well,
we are just a small community as part of Ghanaian society, and we can do our best and leave the rest to Allah. For the world to know that at least we have expressed our grievances, we have expressed our solidarity for the people and the oppressed, and we have said our mind, and we have also conveyed our message to the Secretary General that the world is behind him. For us in Ghana, we are behind him, and that we are also telling the world that Israel time has come for the world to see Israel as an aggressor, as an oppressor, as arrogant, as the country that is not bringing peace on this earth.
The time, the choice of words you use on Israel is further escalating.
Beloved, I have said to you that if Israel had not murdered their prime minister who signed an accord that there should be two-state policy. It's as simple as that. Both sides signed it. What happened to it? 1967, up to date, what happened to it? When the ambassador comes here, please ask her, what happens to that accord? If they had followed that accord today, there should be peace in that region. At the end of the day, there will be oil, prices that will escalate, and it will affect our economy as Ghanaians. So we think that whatever that happens to any part of this world affects us indirectly. So for us, as Muslims, as Ghanaians, we think that there should be peace in this world.
I'll give you the opportunity to speak to the authorities. Of course, you say you have a special appeal for the president as well. What would that direct message be to the president of the republic? He's spoken on this matter. I'm sure you've heard it.
Well, I didn't hear, but I had. You mean the president?
Yes. President.
Well, I didn't hear the president, but I had a report that there has been remark by His Excellency the President. But I think that if indeed that is the case, we think that is not. It doesn't truly reflect a Ghanaian position, and we think that the advisors should ensure that some kind of diplomacy is brought to bear as far as the commentary.
On whose authority? He's the president of the republic.
Well, we think that, and we are also Ghanaians. We put him there, and we are also saying that
he has the constitutional power of dealing with, external forces.
Well, he has it, and we also have our voice, and we are saying that the president is wrong. If indeed that's what he said, we think the president was wrong. It doesn't reflect the good people of Ghana. That is his view. We think that if he supports Ukraine, he should have equally support Palestine. It's as simple as that.
On what principle?
The principle that he used in supporting Ukraine.
And what's the principle of external aggression?
And who said that Palestinians are not under oppressed by superpowers?
I guess we're not looking at the issues from the same perspective, is it? What's on the table now for Israel is the matter of the latest Hamas attack. Is that where you're looking at issues from?
We have condemned it, and we are also saying that if Israel had followed the accord, the 1966 accord, this Hamas attack wouldn't have happened. That's all we are saying.
And so we endorse violence?
We are not endorsing violence, but we don't endorse oppression.
I see. Anyway, this conversation will continue some more, but Anand, you wish to add some few more words before we go?
Oh no, thank you very much for having us. We still believe that we need peace in this world. Our government should also understand that our foreign policy should continue to exist, should continue to respect the people who are under oppressed. And Palestinians are under oppressed. They are being killed on a daily basis, and we must sympathize with them. Thank you very much.
And I'm sure that you're expecting some answers from the United Nations Secretary General, and as you, of course, are indicating your solidarity with them. You've been assured there'll be a response on that?
Well, he said he's going to deliver our petition to him. We congratulated the General Secretary and for his boldness, and we said we are behind him. For Israel to have that arrogance to say that the man to tender his resignation, that the world is behind him. And I know there are quite a number of persons like ourselves across the world who really go with the comment he made in support of Israel's cause. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Haj Abdel Manan Abdel Rahman is president of the Coalition of Muslim Organizations, stating their position on this matter. We'll keep watching the space and bring you some updates on this matter. But for now, are now being discussed in order to decide on how this could actually happen in terms of practice. German politicians have said the country is at the limits of its capacity because of the high number of arrivals. So we now bring in Thomas Sparrow, political correspondent for our partners DW in Berlin, joining me now.